Hey, honey?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Recipe Roulette. I'm Fen,
I'm Laura.
and this is a cooking show where we
Choose a cookbook, open to a page at random, and we make what it says.
And tonight is episode 1 of season 3. So tonight we are making
Raclette, and it's coming from the Salt Block Grilling cookbook. Yeah, should be good. Let's look at those ingredients.
Alright.
So, ingredients for raclette, which if you've never heard of it, I'll read the description right from the book. Raclette is probably the single most ingenious milk-based thing ever invented. Its name derives from the French verb racler, because the cheese is subjected to heat, traditionally in open fire. We're obviously using a grill, and it's scraped off its melts. So it's like a fancy, really fancy grilled cheese with like a lot of other stuff. So, in addition to your cheese, and we're actually using a raclette cheese, about a pound of this cut into 6 slices. We got this at Whole Foods, and if you don't have or can't find any raclette near you, you can use a Swiss cheese. So you got your cheese, you got your bread, a nice French loaf cut into like slice size, something good handheld piece. You've got about 3 medium-sized potatoes. They're in like triangular shaped dice size, and they're in water, and that's to keep them from browning. Asparagus, it's like a bunch that you get at the grocery store, standard size. And I found out, because I don't have so much experience with asparagus, that you can eat this part, you can also eat the majority of the stem. You want to chop off the woody white part at the end, so that's how I prepped those. And then we've got 2 shallots, which are sliced into pieces about a 1/4 inch wide. And if you eat meat, so the recipe called for prosciutto, but it's pretty expensive, so we substituted for some like regular salami or pepperoni. You can use other pretty similar. I don't eat meat, so Ben is going to enjoy that. And for like seasonings, we got some black pepper, some paprika, spicy brown mustard, and this is actually watermelon rind pickles, which hopefully will be a Friday featurette because these are house made with local watermelon. It's all pretty exciting. And last but not least, a tablespoon of avocado oil. Okay, so let's look at putting this together.
Alright, so we got our salt block all prepped up. Gave it a good scrape to get a lot of the built up charcoal off of it. It's the really downside of cooking with a salt block. You really can't wash it because you risk having it dissolve. We're just going to drain our potatoes, set these up on here. Rock in the oil. Potatoes with some oil. And it's going to take about 4 minutes. These potatoes cooking. And we're going to flip them over. We're looking for them to get nice and pork tender. I need a bigger salt bray. Alright. Like I said, cover them up, give them 4 minutes. And then we'll be back to flipping them and let them go for 4 more. Alright. So, potatoes been going 4 minutes. I'm gonna hit them with some black pepper. Once it fell off, try to carefully get these flipped over without having too many fall off the salt bray. I apologize if it's a little windy. Still haven't gotten all the upgrades for our camera gear that I'm planning on getting. Need to get a little windscreen camera. Definitely need a bigger salt bark, but we'll get some upgrades this season. Alright, so we need 4 more minutes on these potatoes. Alright, potatoes have been on for 8 minutes. I'm just gonna test. Still a bit tough, so I'm just gonna slide off over to the sides. We've gotten there 8 minutes on the salt brick. It's time to free up some space for some other veg. We got our asparagus. Gonna hit the last of our oil. Alright, the asparagus needs 6 minutes, so I'm going to cover this back up. Alright, our asparagus has been cooking for 6 minutes. I'm scared I'm going to lose these spears down between my grate, so I'm just going to scoot them over a bit. Nope, got one trying to make an escape. Scoot them over a little bit, get my shallots onto the board so I can clear off my cutting board I use to bring everything out with, so I can get these asparagus over onto my cutting board. Alright, so I'm gonna have my shallots on here for about 4 minutes. Just cover it up, let them go. While I actually got the shallots on, I'm gonna take my bread, just put it around my outer edges. And let it get its toast on. Alright, our shallots have started to get a nice toast on. Just gonna start flipping around our bread. Alright, gonna pull off my shallots. Take this piece of bread off with it too. Crummy bits. Now I'm going to put down my cheese. We're looking for this to get melty and brown, and then we can transfer it over onto our cutting board on top of our potatoes. So I'm going to start pulling my bread off. So one little piece of advice that I will definitely give, because this is my first time doing this, make sure you have everything off the grill before you start putting the cheese down. And make sure you got 2 spatulas on hand, because you're going to have to work really quick with the cheese, because there's supposed to be cheese like on top of shallots, on top of the asparagus, and it really just ended up just being the cheese for with the potatoes. But put a little bit of everything on my plate. I got some of the salami wrapped around the asparagus on a little sandwich. Open facer here, and take my first bite. Not bad.
Yep, pretty good. It's like a grilled version of a charcuterie board with potatoes.
Yeah, it's a charcuterie board with fries. So.
Let me grab next week's cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell them what we're doing next week?
I really shouldn't have taken that second bite. Yeah, next week we are going camping. So we're going to grab the barbecue Bible. I think it's, yep. Okay.
Way over here.
She's found it. So I'm going to make a batch of seitan, aka Muppet meat. And to find out how I'm going to cook that while we're camping, we got the barbecue Bible. Tell me when.
Stop.
Ooh, you know the other name for Muppet meat is demon meat.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna have a steak from hell.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So join us next week on location.
All right. Peace.
Bye, everybody.